Hello again, and welcome to the New Orleans TV Internet Work. This is episode 11, no, excuse me, number 10, double digits, first time of our PSA, Public Service Announcements series on our upcoming and show releases in February of existing shows and some new creations from our past. If you thought the vibrant green of the last episode, episode 9, was something, we've got to be knocking your socks off if you wear them with this plush pink or whatever it may be called, and really brings out the article that our logo is holding. For those who don't know us, we are the New Orleans TV Internet Network, and we emanate from New Orleans, Louisiana, but we go worldwide via the internet. And we hopefully broadcast live, usually 1 hour shows, uh, and simultaneously, through the wonders of Mother Technology, on Facebook Live under my tutelage, Bob Bockelman, spelled for you in the bottom left, if you can read it, Boeckelman. A lot of 10 letters just identify the show here. Or the YouTube channel under my auspice, R space Revue. And that's not the word space, that's just grammatical space, R space review. How did we get such a crazy title? Well, if you'll look up at our right corner of your screen, you'll see, if you haven't familiar with us, a little postage stamp size of our logo. And it is a black and white drawing of an ant on a white background with a red star on its uh, body frame, let's call it that. How did we come up with that? The original show at that time, targeted only to be one, was called Restaurant Review. So Bob, the thinker, came up with an analogy or whatever the proper English term is to represent the word restaurant, red star ant. Got it? Not too clever. Anyway, what happened was it was the beginning of what we're happy to be a onslaught of shows. And in order to differentiate one show from another and still keep the title, we decided our parent production company would be our review, as we just said for the YouTube channel, without the space. So, not that that's important. And what we did there is we decided to change whatever was in the ant's hand that he or she was which originally started with, if you saw the very first show in our restaurant itself, was a beautiful covered silver dish for service. Now we even better. We're knocking down doors with this great company. This is a lovely antique vase and the magnificent green background and the peonies or whatever that reddish kind of brick color flower. Stunning, Bob. Stunning. I hope I didn't scare you away with that. Anyway, so we talked about the origin of our name and our shows. A little bit, as I mentioned in the bio, about 15 years. It started in 2000 on a local cable company, and at that time we only did local artists and guests for our different shows. Did not have farther reach nor a pool of resources. For 2 years stint a few years ago, we broadened to the internet, at which we created one or two new shows plus our existing 4 or 5 that we had, and brought them to you on the internet through that station, but no live simulcast through multiple. I don't believe it was more than one platform, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we did do 2 years of that. Now, if you want to see any of these old shows just to get familiar while you're waiting for the new shows and the relaunch of our existing shows on network, you can go to that YouTube channel or space RREVUE, no space, no, R, oh, I'm confused. R space REVUE. Just search for it. There's a couple of them, some of them have that title with a band. Who wants to hear a band? Well, we do on one of my shows, but anyway, you don't want to hear that band. You want to see this band of characters. So, what was that? So you can go on that channel anytime, and if you look under the video tabs, you will see shows. Now, again, we don't have 15 years worth. That's a heck of a lot. You'd be bored silly. But we have maybe a year and a half. We have like I forgot over 100 episodes of the different shows that we did on TV. And you'll notice there was a different host, a totally different host, because much more attractive. He was a full head of hair, very svelte, using my surname, okay, and perhaps even throwing my voice like in ventriloquist. But anyway, so now not to confuse you, if you go check under playlist, the internet episodes will be shown in there. I'll look more like what you're seeing, very close. Of course, I do change my, my not only my attire but my visage. We won't go into that. We're wasting a lot of my 10-minute time. We're trying to keep it on 10 minutes. So enough boring stuff about me. You've heard the bio. The format of most of these shows are pretty much the same. Again, it's usually it's always live, and an hour-long interview with a guest with his or her specialty or gift, talent, passion, whatever. And in that, the guest has provided to us digital pics of his specialty creations or her specialty creations that we will slideshow type with discussion of each by the guest and a little 2 cents from me about each. So you can, again, learn from how talented this person is. So that way, I always draw the analogy of our first show, restaurants. In New Orleans, we're blessed with numerous restaurants and chefs for a small town. But accordingly, unless you know the chef or go to his or her restaurant, you can see him usually, or one of them, on a morning show. We do a lot of local morning shows, at which they're asked to come on and prepare one at a time each day a singular dish that he or she will be offering to some fortunate charity staging a fundraiser, usually a gala. And he or she will show you how to make that wonderful creation. But again, usually limited to 5-10 minutes. And so what do you learn, right? You learn what the chef looks like and sounds like, learn how to make his dish, and they always include recipes. So you know a little bit about it, and especially if you like that particular recipe. Our exposure is long ago, I said, bring those chefs out of the kitchen. Somebody's got to see and hear from them. And that was the nature of our show way back in 2000, before you didn't know them, okay? And not only do you want to hear it from the guests themselves or the chefs themselves, you want to be able to see an expanse. Since you're not in the restaurant, this is going to hopefully lead you to the restaurant one day or his catering service, because you will see 12, 15, 20 dishes of his or her creations, which gives you a much broader scope of our understanding of the scope. It might not be, even though it's getting very common to be vegan or vegetarian restaurants, and we'll do that for you. But this way, you'll see that hopefully you and your loved ones, family members, whoever else graces your presence, will will see more about it. That's how I do. Now, I am very remiss because after I bragged about our beautiful logo, fabulous background for this show, I didn't even show you full scope. But of course, I block it. Other than the old adage with the answer, here's looking at you. Let's really look at you close. So let's go ahead and see what the image looks. Ah, look at that baby, huh? Without me on, gee whiz. That's glowing, don't you think, folks? I do. Bob does. And hopefully you will find it as well. I mean, wow. Pop, talking about pop, pop, or whatever that song is. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't remember all those songs. But anyway, so that'll be in the back. So if you don't remember anything else, if you like, and we're gonna have a special note on this program right before we close. If you like, and what is our feature? Because we didn't say what this vase is. We don't sell vases. We're not looking at just vase. We're looking at the name of the show. Again, following our review lead is Rarity. Rarity. Not a commonly used word, but look it up and you'll see it. It does. It is correct in this usage. All right. So Rarity will be an exploration of antique shops or auctions or both of those. Um, One of my favorites. I've been going to auctions since I was 16, and you know that was probably at the creation of the first auction that was so long ago. And have been fortunate to furnish my house post our devastating Katrina hurricane here back in 2008 with some of the goodies, at a bar, and those times bargain prices because everyone was in financial hardships as of the city being devastated. Enough about my personal story. So we want to share that. So we're still going to auctions almost every month. They have them here. We have three companies, auction houses here in New Orleans. Plus, we'll occasionally tour through the antique shop. But anyway, we're going to be bringing these things from all over. And we got, like I said, at the end of the show, we got a special treat for you. If you one of these, if you happen to catch this PSA before the end of the last week of January 2020, you're in for a treat. Okay, a little sneak preview of this particular program. How you like all that stuff? Huh? Okay, let's see. What else do we have to do? I can never remember here. This I got to keep writing these little outlines, format. The target date, of course. And let me bring you back so you can see my beautiful. Well, we'll do this. Where's the one where you can see? Oh, that's the wrong one because you see there's a black thing there. Bob is no technician with his bad eyes. Okay, there. Mini Bob and the big red star ant, not red ant. Okay. The target, as I might have alluded to at the beginning of the show, of the PSA, is February 1st. Now, I don't think we have anything on the 1st, but the very first Tuesday, the 3rd or the 4th, I keep forgetting to look it up. We start our first live program with the show from the last episode of this series, Realty Review. We will have one on real estate and also somewhere that will be expanded. But anyway, so if you like, just see it's out of curiosity, that'll be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, emanating Tuesday, the first Tuesday of this month, and every week thereafter at Tuesday with a different realtor rotating each month, each week. Okay? Now, when we, again, about scheduling, as I said, you can see it if you don't see the live program, you can see it anytime you get home or feel like it by going to the YouTube channel. Even Facebook will only keep it on, I think, for a day. I think it's 24 hours. So you got to depend on YouTube for long term. If you don't, if you're not available or interested in it right away, just casually want to see some stuff, you better go to YouTube. That way you can see any of these PSAs or any of our shows because they'll stay on there forever. But what we'll also do in the early days is we're going to create a broadcast schedule, so efficient, which we will post in here. We'll leave up on the NOTVIN website. Well, it won't be streamlined Facebook, but it'll be on the Facebook NOTVIN all the time until we post something new, a new show. We will rotate it through Facebook, two accounts that I have, and also trying to do it with Instagram to get a little more publicity there. So that way you'll know what's on when. And we'll run some of these through Instagram if we can get them to. Haven't been able to upload these yet. That's just my lack of technology, being an old person. So be understanding. I have old personalities. I have things that have come on new as well as maladies since birth. So you have to understand. And I think you probably think he's mentally challenged. I won't say that out loud because I know I'll offend people. That probably is very, very true. But I'm talking about more visible ailments. Anyway, enough about me, Bob. What about Bob? Remember one of the funniest pictures, and I'm not much on watching comedy or listening to artificial comedy. I create my own. Some they say. Okay, my last thing to tell you is to tell you about the peak sneak preview. As I mentioned about this program, we will have for those who are watching, on Friday afternoon, this Friday, the last Friday of the month of January 2020, from 2 to 4 Central Standard Time, we're hoping to bring the first episode of Rarity Reviews. We're testing them in the morning. It's coming from a well-known town in Louisiana, Bogalusa, where you can know you're there before you're there. And for those who ever want to know, send me a comment or a question if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is a really unique situation. If we can bring it to you, it's a treasure trove, like a archaeology's discovery, a warehouse holding antiques from England, Scotland, and one other European country, I believe, that have been sitting idle for 40 to 45 years and presently being liquidated. And I do mean liquidated. Tremendous bargains. So watch us if you see us, if we're able to do it, and then we'll be doing it several times because they only run them on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from this particular location, only between 10 and 4 p.m. We'll be on 2 to 4 p.m. this Friday if it works. Then we'll work out a schedule of just the rarity reviews for this particular fantastic, never before seen hideaway auction of antiques. Finally, we have to solicit, I know it's prostitution, Bob. We have to solicit your gratitude. First of all, spreading the word by any word of mouth, or word of social media mouth. Secondly, please subscribe to our review in YouTube so you can be notified of this fabulous array of shows. Okay. And then also tell us about guests. If you know someone who's talented in the many arts that we'll be showing, or maybe creating because of your suggestion, send them to us so we can work out something. You can contact me again through email, Bob, B-O-B, at sign, or review, how you like that, RREVUE.net, no space in that one. Or on my Facebook profile, which we say Bob Bockelman, shown here. And let's go back to the big Bob. Here we go. Wow, Bob guessed at it, and he did a great job. Huh? Am I taking too long? Probably so. I didn't check when we started here, so I think it is. So we'll right. This might be a longer one, 20 minutes. And we need to be at the 10-minute level. We're trying to. Anyway, don't forget about us, as Bob loves to say. Stay tuned soon. Bye, folks.